Abusua TV. Enyansafo nko aneshe.
Afọ yemma mo nyina akwaba na yemfa momra Abusua 1 TV so Abusua 1 TV na wajeso se enyansafo nko a na ehwe ewo hono. Abusua menemu ekasa yi osofo won wo hwe ahyen kobadie ensem so de nsem atodwa ama wachirem senti a eneyi aban no aye na adwe no asi na adwene po se won be yen hyehye na enne menemu ekasa Kotoka wiem hyen gina bia no won mo asesa edin no de afiri hono mo ne nsem a woka no ochiremu a enkran eye oman krupon a eno ene ye fadewura wo memu no eno se bibia obia de ne nsa aye ye wo men japade no they have every right so mbebo modern na edin esefata no wo mo de atoso eno nti endei so omaye wo madwen se Kotoka wiem hyen gina bia no wo be sedi no na wo mo de ato enkran international airport na edise efata pa eno nti wode nsem de atodwa na yenko tie osofo a ohye ya hyen ko badie ensem so ensem ode tudwa ene senti a wo chem se ho akohia se wo send manim ya ye sesedi no yenko tie mra mesrawo sa won subscribe ya bomade na subscribe na ye ne engro sa channel Abusua 1 no aje se enyansafo nko ana ehwe yenko mra.
Now the situation is such that we are not doing this with any political thinking. We are doing this to come from a very neutral point of view that Accra is our capital city. It is not anybody's name. If we want to name other monuments or any other national facilities to people, this is the time that we are looking at restructuring them. For the fact that we had a name and it was changed to honor somebody in his role in the 1966 coup, we feel that that history is not what the Ghanaian will want to hear. The fact that it had an original name, and that name was when the first president gave that name to the airport, we should do that, and Kwame Nkrumah himself in his grave will remember, even if the spirit is anywhere and it is coming home, it will get to his original Accra International Airport, no any other name.
Abusua ochiame enim asem ka wose nana wasomu a ena eda hono osofo hwe ya hyen koba edie ensem so ena wode nsem ede atodwa no wachem senti a eneye wo maye wo madwen se wono mpese wo mo esesedi no na yentumrika ne yenko oman Ghana mrahye bibefie na yenko tie ensem owura Alexander Afenyo Markins de nsem de atodwa achiremu se eyare wo sempa esan se aban etwe mo mfinchampi mienu aduonu na ye na ban no enipa omofa wo modwuma mo ye Ghana fo no way back to 2017 po enipa bi omofa wo mo wadwuma mu no NDC aban ba ye John Dramani Mahama wabayi wonu mu nyina adi e wono ma ahwe ho a ozuzu se tan ye wose yesesa yensa na ye jai se adwumadi na yedi no yenko tie Alexander Afenyo Markins ensem ono so de tudwa
the 2024 elections. Mr. Speaker, we the minority became aware with evidence that there were some excesses in the sense that though the letter was specific that those who were recruited after the 2024 elections, Ghanaian youth who had been employed as far back as 2017 were all dismissed from their lawful employ. Mr. Speaker, the minority filed a motion. The motion was admitted by you. The majority leader raised a preliminary objection, which objection was upheld by the first deputy speaker. Mr. Speaker, we subsequently filed a motion for review under the rules of this House, which you admitted. Mr. Speaker, this motion was moved by my good self, seconded by my respected colleague from Ofuasia Yirbi, and the chief whip from the majority side, Honorable Eche Defemepo, started the debate for his side. Mr. Speaker, the promise made by the chair was that the following Tuesday, the debate will continue so that you could eventually rule on the matter. Mr. Speaker, unfortunately, because it was a matter that you were the only one to preside, and because of some other intervening matters, we've not been able to take this motion, much as we kept prompting the majority leader to take steps to allow this to be done.
And Afenyo markings, no, I was just saying, I didn't see in the Bianca. You see a Germany be a ayana. Sad these two political parties in Ankasana. I was here job my life for the moment. I did way, this is not the first time I echo. I so, but I won't say nothing your markings. A code you chromo the walkers. Young watch, I mean, over my gun, I'm not chippy fee. Sansem Korea or the video trigger. I'm on no swap back, way back 2020, 201. Yeah, 201. Na abra na ono no eye minority leader no wose saa ne ma bi koso ema NDC aban wo mo fa wo modwuma nu John Ajekum kufo bai wo no so be yi wo mu nyina adi na de ka kum yegine kokuo nu yenko tie mra.
Now members on this matter are direct that as chairman of the business committee, not leader of government business, but as chairman of the business committee, you cause this matter to be relisted and scheduled for consideration of the House. This thing has gone on since the inception of the Fourth Republic. Anytime there's a change of government, we have people's appointment being terminated, in many cases unlawfully, and they are not even paid. I remember as minority leader in 2001, all the staff of national mobilization were dropped. Nothing was paid. Some directors were dismissed. Some even went to the High Court. Rulings were given. Government did not abide by the rulings. And the lawyers struggled and they could not enforce them. The same happened again in 2009, continued up to date. I mean, we can't keep on this way. We have to improve. So if Parliament has decided to give some guidance as to the way forward, I think it's a good motion that we should create the opportunity for Parliament to have a say. So please take this directive as urgent and make sure that this motion be relisted for the consideration of the House. With this, I just want to inform you that we have majority leader.
For urban kin for Sumana Babe, and Yatinka, Eddie Afasa and Sim Kriam. Na yendu to Mika, Nayavi and Intimu, Ewa MPP Amanyukunu, Ura Bernard and Chibu Siako, Edin Simbi Eddie Atuja, Ama Wachim, Sentia and Nei, or Pesa to any sign on 1 PP Amanyukunu, Wamo Tuaba, Edemano. Obe Jumteni, MPP Amanyukun, Sadi Abaya, what in Kabumu and any Swadun Mope, Samanyukun Beba, Abemuno, whatever, and no see Uncle Timra.
And to say, I dare say, most support to me. Obia Obabia, but me who say, Cecilia, or Sumu, bet me a connected to penny for and the youth. And a popularity wise, Obia person who want to be. Yeah. Your constituency say soon to me back. Now will be our so or near the pribia near boy a year, will be a professor who and Tino, Samu Nipa will bet my mobilizing say, I didn't see and now I do better. Me fana, you say, said great Accra. You were order, yes, bossa, mafia man, great Accra. Your all the executives I have near you put to look yeah. What I say. But a year free and some man a car for. Oko a year Oko Central Regional. What I say? You lose Manaka say for Western Accra 2. Oba a year Western North. You lose Nina. Oba tre bonoa, a beer in ya 1. Oba voter, Yansan Kabi, Oba Oti, Yansan Kabi, no Ababefa, Northern region side. What the back now befa Eastern, what the back to your party anymore. A woman said, you lose, dear. What you say? But we did well in Ashanti. We did well. And at the crowd, say Manchester United Bobo Numu Lusua. There's a player be or I don't the only team can say oh but one mobile. What I said, Bruno Fernandes, you know, and you know, person like us, you know, we understand the politics. We understand the politics. We sleep with the politics, and also we need a working national chairman. National chairman now, and yes, be over party office. Leave the office for the general secretary, and start moving to constituency to solve problems in the constituencies. What you say, and also connect to electoral areas so that you can be known all the problems in the polling stations, and that's electoral areas, and solve it there. And you know, years ahead, you know, the presidential candidate here, you know, now also so no team, now move to solve. Now move, Nipa, I was a party in it me, you know, I was a year, Nipa, I was a me. So I'm coming to serve. I'm coming to mobilize and serve. Until the Mon Farming Court National Chair, Mon Farming Court, and I promise you, when you Ponti, Yura Mahmoud Bawumia obey president.
Say assemble kwa etwagum prempren wo man Ghana mu no LGBTQ+ ene ne ekeke ka ho me kire man ne man na me man ne me man na MPP eye pem adum ni adan wono pre de to NDC so na NDC so apre e de ato wo mo so enne die dom kuma ne kan se John Dramani mama edi o man ne hwemo sanse nsem o kan wo opposition se oba obesan no onyoy na yenko tie yewura Roxanne Nelson dafiamapo ensem o de atwedwa e de fa bill no ho ene kradwa John Dramani mama aye se nne yi sem na hye bedwa ntimi ekọ ho asetena wi a obesan wo kire mu emre bi die no anada nkwa kufu ado na hwe nyame anim a wansan nti ewu de sesa hye process na sefofo na de yenko tie mfi wono ankasa ho mra
to it. That was what killed that bill.
Can you say with certainty that you will pass this bill?
I am saying I am not the one who will sign. So
I mean, Parliament must.
So let me explain. Hitherto, I drove the bill with passion. Sam George and I, we got it passed. The president refused to assent to it. That was what killed that bill. So my boss, Sinayariga, said the bill should be considered passed because it had been passed. So constitutionally speaking, what is the fate of a bill that was no longer a bill, that had become an act of parliament, but pending assent? It was something which we ought to have tested in the Supreme Court. Because a bill only dies with parliament. But this one, it wasn't a bill, it was an act of parliament.
And I guess that's what Mahama Yarga's point when he...
No, it was something we discussed and he ventilated.
That he had left the domain of parliament.
Good.
And so
we had ventilated it. Because you see, in doing these things, it costs money and resources and time and everything. So technically speaking, we are going to go back to spend money, time, resources, parliamentary hours to go through what we have already gone through.
But you can assure that you will pass it.
I am saying the person who signs says my pen is ready, the ink is dripping. If you bring it today, I'll sign it the next minute.
Will you bring it?
We will bring it.
Okay.
So we want to assure the nation and all the faith-based institutions and religious bodies who are interested, both sides of the major religious organizations, both Christians and Muslims, that this bill will pass it just like we did a year or two ago. But the difference is that the president, before even we kickstart that process, he's ready, he's in readiness to sign.
And also, Anna, and the honor, I would aba. Na yenko edom kuma no anase dom dodo mum wo mo kan difo wura Mahama ayarega woden sembi di atodwa oba Ghana School of Law e kame akwa se wo mo no agi wo mu ensire ne ene ade a se wanko school ni bi wo no anya sa akwanya ma mo antintim so amawa eden se obetimi aba ba ye mranim ni e wo Ghana hanom na no wo se wo de bill bi e ba fi ho no mo a wɔn bɛyɛ nsakyaye wɔ mu a saa monopoly no a ekura wɔn no wɔn bɛhwan no magye saa tumi no wɔn bɛmɛ schools awodo na akonya na mmom ɛno nkyerɛ sɛ kɔyɛ dudu wurawura ama sɛ be wote daase abra no ama apra so kɔyɛ mmrahye anasɛ mmranim ni wɔn bɛsɔ ne so no ma yɛ exams a obiara bɛtena se obɛtwero bi a ɛnkɔyɛ nipa baakofo ɛna ɛbɛfa ɛde abɔ no ho ansa na watimi anya kwa abɛyɛ mmranim ni wɔ Ghana ɛno nso wakyerɛ mu.
What this bill does is to clear the bottleneck, which is the monopoly of the Ghana School of Law and also the so-called entrance exam that made it virtually impossible for even students who graduated with first class from very reputable universities to get into the Ghana School of Law. So, Mr. Speaker, the innovations introduced by this bill are very clear for everyone to see. We are introducing an accreditation program that will make sure that it is not every mushroom LLB school that will produce lawyers who will go on to write the bar exam. There will be accreditation and quality control to ensure that if there is a university producing LLB candidates, those candidates would have gone through a training that is either equivalent to or better than what I went through or what the majority leader went through before becoming lawyers. Mr. Speaker, we are also introducing the national bar exam so that those who go through the law practice training course at the universities, the accredited universities, can all write the national bar exam, which will be a standardized exam, that will be administered by the Council for Legal Education and its bar examination committee. What this bill does.
They said Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia. Na Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia na ankasa de nsem bi de atodwa. Abre to aba wodi nkunim wiye. A chese osre na oka nsem pa. Na de mempese me mekwa oka nsem bi na akoye se abusia na aka de Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia no. Yenkoni enkotie ne mra.
A lot of skepticism about whether we are going to win. Even the NDC have even gotten a bit arrogant, thinking, whoever you bring, we are going to beat them. There's no way with this majority we will not win. But we've seen majorities of this nature before, isn't it? When J.H. Mensah was there, they were about 61, right? 61. But J.H. Mensah's parliament at that time, when he was minority leader, they transformed. And by the time we got to 2000, we won. And we were the majority. What I see, frankly, are parallels between that parliament and the mighty minority that we see today. You have done an excellent job. You've held this government's feet to the fire. And it doesn't even appear that you are such a minority in parliament. You look at it and you are making the case every time. So frankly, if you look at the outcome of 24, if you analyze the data, you just come to the conclusion that the problem was internal. The NDC's vote didn't change. Their vote didn't change. Even Nanado's votes of 6.7 was higher than what Mahama got of 6.4. Isn't it? Yeah, so their numbers were basically static. For an opposition party, after 4 years in opposition, you would normally expect a big jump if there is a clamor for them. But they maintained their numbers of 2020. Our numbers was where the action took place. 2.1 million people didn't come. So if you look at it, then the task is not as onerous as we think. Because if you look at the gap and you don't do the analysis, you think, but if it is our members who did not vote, the first port of call is to look at the album and see who did not vote. Because we know them personally, individually, who did not vote. So I believe that the task going forward is something that is doable. It's very possible to get our members to come back to do that. But I personally and politically, I believe that the path to victory for us goes through Parliament. The path to victory for us goes through Parliament.
This is not the first time. Oh my God, I'm rushing with you. I have to about now. Acquire day at the opposition. Yeah, and this is only be a obi baby Ginabiano, and this is for free and people babyano, and this in Ibia and never form. And was in baby grand over 61 seat. Now so much to me 10 in Yema. Into a giddy say and near my air cosono. Over to me at 10. I'm a near my quay. I didn't agree. I'm so. And my reviews of subscribe over saying I'd watch it. Ediato Ediamai. Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia. I don't know. Ewo Honma. Aha! Ebusia 1 TV. Ebusia 1 TV. No, I just say Enyansa Fonkwa ena eshe. Yamamunyina mo ene sha waji ahenewa.